All right, let's take a look at topic number 19, area of our polygon in circles. So I'm gonna bring it over here. Let me share one. All right, so I'm gonna bring this over here. Can y'all see my computer screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, y'all see the topic 19?
Mm-hmm.
What about my calculators?
Yep.
All right. All right. So we mentioned a little bit about some of these shapes characteristic last time, but one thing to keep in mind about areas of any polygon is base times height. Okay, how long the bottom is times how tall it is. Now, since we already call rectangle is having length and width, then how long the bottom is, how long the base is times how tall it is will give me my area formula. All right, square. How long the bottom is times how tall it is. Side times side, which is side squared. All right. Parallelogram. Again, parallelogram has a base and a height. And I need to emphasize this. Height is always gonna be perpendicular to the bases. Okay, so I didn't draw it in the previous video, but all these base and the height always have a 90-degree angle marking on it. Okay, that's how you know who is the height, who is the base. Okay, based on this marking 90-degree angle, so you know there's a base, there's a height. Okay, very important, especially there's a question on the test. You actually need to find this 90-degree angle in order to know who is the base, who is the height. Now, if we cut parallelogram diagonally, what we actually end up is two triangles. So that's the reason why the area of a triangle has a base times height, which is referring to parallelogram. But if you cut parallelogram in half, then you get yourself an area of a triangle. That's why triangle is half times base times height. So let's say if this is the base, okay, this is your height. All right, half times base times height will give me my triangle. We will talk a little bit more about trapezoid in Math 168. The key thing about trapezoid is trapezoid, by being four-sided, it actually have a big base and a little base. Okay, one base is longer than the other. And the height is, again, perpendicular to the bases. All right, this is the key thing about trapezoid is one base is big, one base is small. So in order to find the area, we will take a half times the height times the big base plus a little base. So I will explain this formula more in detail when you take Math 168, exactly how that half is come about. In the last video, we talked about using diameters for circumference. So now to find the area of a circle, that would be pi times radius squared. Okay. So again, looking at the same type of picture as topic 18, this time we're gonna find the area. So basically what you see is what you're gonna do. This picture here on the left side, what we see is a rectangle, right? With half a circle missing. All right, so if I would mark this half a circle, all right, here is my center. The rectangle obviously is actually a bigger area because a half circle is within it. So to find the area of the composite figure, we will take the area of the rectangle minus the area of a half circle. So these are areas, so I got to use all the area formula. Length times width is area of a rectangle minus half times pi r squared. So this rectangle the width is 2 centimeters. So that means the other side, this is also 2 centimeters. So the 2 centimeter on the circle is actually the diameter, right? One end to the other end in the circle. For area formula, the area formula require me to have radius. So my radius got to be 1. So what you see is what you do, okay? We're going to take the area of the rectangle, 3 times 2, minus half of a circle that's cutting out of it. That's 0.5 times pi times 1 squared. So I will type in 1 square because a lot of people type 2 right here. Oh God, 1 square is 1, not 2. So 3 times 2 minus 0.5 times the pi key times 1 raising to the second power. All right, it's about 4.43. Square centimeter, right? Dealing with area. All right, this is the same picture as from topic number 18. Okay, this time we're finding the area. So this literally what you see, area is inside of it. Literally what you see, this is a quarter of a circle. So that will be a quarter times pi r squared. So previously we said that, okay, to know this is a quarter of a circle, this point right here got to be the center. Therefore, the 10-inch given me got to be the radius. So this problem, we'll just say 0.25 times the pi key times 10 squared. Oh, for God, please, 10 squared is 100, not 20. So I'm just gonna put in a calculator, let the calculator do it for me. Times the pi key times 10 squared. Voila, 78.54. Square inch. All right. What you see is what you do. This one, just like the previous one, 3/4 of a circle. Right? Area was inside of it. So don't get confused between area and perimeter. I'll write this one out. So this one, just like the quarter of a circle, this is going to be 3/4 times pi times radius squared, which will give me 0.75 times the pi key times 6 squared, okay? I'm not going to type it in. Y'all can type it in and see. Now this one, what you see is what you do. This one is actually half a circle placed right next to a square. All right. So if one shape is placed right next to another shape, then we will add their area. Like this one. If one shape is within another bigger shape, we subtract their area. So 0.5 times pi times radius squared plus area of a square. I'm just gonna write side times side, okay? So this dashed line here that was given me, it got to be 6 inches. And that 6 inch is referring to as the diameter. I need radius, so radius got to be 3. Times 3 squared plus 6 times 6. All right. Let me key it in. 0.5 times the pi key times 3 raising the roof to the second power plus 6 times 6. All right, 50.14 square inch. Okay. All right, let's try some application problems. Some of these are pretty easy. Some of them are a little bit tricky. So this one says if a 22 feet by 13 feet living room, so by the dimension, you know the living room is a rectangle. It's carpet with carpet that costs $52 per square yard, including labor and pads. All right. What is the total cost for carpeting the living room in this home? Assuming you cannot purchase part of a square yard. So in order for me to find the cost, I need to know how big of an area I have to know how much I need to buy, right? To know how much carpet I need to buy. If I know how much carpet I need to buy, then I know how much it's going to cost me. So we got to find the area first. 22 by 13. And this is what everybody get tripped up on. The 22 feet and 13 feet are both in feet. So when you take feet times feet, you get 286 square foot. But when you go to the store, they are selling it to you by the square yard. So that means we will need to convert 286 square foot into so many square yard before I can actually figure it out. Because they're selling me by the square yard. I measure in square foot, so I got to convert. All right, we know square foot is small, square yard is large. So go from small to large, we will divide. And what's the number we divide? Remember, we say that, okay, a square yard means you have a square that is 1 yard by 1 yard. And every yard is 12 feet. So a square yard is 144 square feet, right? 12 times 12, 144. And that's the number we divide by. So we take our 286 square foot divided by that. All right, so I'm gonna put it right here, okay? So if I go to my calculator right now, if I take 286 divided by 144, it's gonna give me this many square yard. So don't round this. We had to round the answer, not rounding part of doing the process. Then I would need almost 2 square yard. $52 for 1 square yard. For 2 square yard, what do I do? Times by what? Times by how much it's costing me. So we will divide it by 144 to convert, then times by $52 for 1 square yard. And that will tell me how much money it's going to cost me. All right, round to near cent, which is the hundredth place. So that will be $103.28. Okay. So I like to, oh, hold on a minute. My fault, hold on. Let's back it up. Assuming you cannot purchase part of a square yard. So I actually have to round, I'm sorry. This 1.96 I used was actually part of a square yard, okay? So I actually need to purchase 2 of them. So we need to do this in 2 steps. I will write it out in 2 steps. It's just a little bit over $103. Sorry about that. So this is actually about 2 square yard. Okay. So $52 for 1 square yard times 2, that will be $104 is my answer. Now, here's the thing about the rounding. If the problem says you cannot purchase part of a square yard, and assume it was not 1.9 something. Let's say assume it was maybe I only need 1.1 square yard. Okay, if I only need 1.1, I don't need anything more than that. But since I cannot buy part of a square yard, What would I round this to? If the calculator told me it was 1.1, what do I round it to? Do I round it as 1 or 2 still?
You're going to round up because you still need that 0.1.
That's right. And I cannot, that's right. I need that 0.1. So by common sense, it tells me what, even if the 1 is less than 5, I still have to round up for the application problem. So very good. Still round to 2 square yard. Very good. I love this problem. I love this problem. All right, take a look at the next one. It's not bad. An urban renewal project involved reseeding a park that is in the shape of a square. Okay, so I have a squared park here, 60 meter on each side. Well, let's assume this is a square. Each bag of the grass seed costs $6.25, and one bag can seed 1,200 square meters. So how much money should be budgeted? All right, so ultimately I need to know how many bags I need to buy. Well, to know how many bags I need to buy, I got to figure out my area. I'm gonna write down some units here. So this is 3,600 square meter. One bag can cover 1,200 square meters. So how many bags do I need? Take my 3,600 divided by 1,200. They tell me I need 3 bags. There you go. Every bag is $6.25. 3 bags times by 3. All right. So this problem is not that hard. So $18.75. So this one is not bad. All right. The last 2 problem here is kind of related. Let's say you plan on paint a wall that is measured 11 feet by 6 feet. A gallon of paint will be $19.96, and it will do you 50 square foot. How much would it cost to paint this wall? All right, so Ian, like before, okay, during this time right now, if you're running on the paint, you can't just like driving all the way back to Lowe's, you know, because you'll never know what happens if you're in our county. We have what do you call it? We have a curfew. So if you're painting in the evening, and by the time you finish painting and you're running out, you can't go outside to the store at past 10 o'clock. So let's go ahead and figure out how much paint we need so we can figure out how much it will cost me. So by looking at the dimension, 11 feet by 6 feet. By the way, where is the closest Lowe's near you? Anybody? How many miles away?
There's one in Hartsville.
Yeah.
Rockingham.
Okay, so so let's figure out how much we need to buy before we driving back to the store. All right, so this area, this wall, 11 by 6 is 66 square foot, right? Now, you and I both know, man, we can buy part of a gallon. I know we can buy half a gallon paint, you know, but let's assume we're gonna buy a whole gallon paint here. 66 square foot divided by 50. Well, I need about 1.32 gallon, but we need to round it to what? How many gallons?
2 gallons.
2 gallons. Okay. It's easier to have leftover, right? All right. So 1996 times 2. That will tell me how much it's going to cost me. $39.92. There we go. All right, that's one wall. Okay, so think about this, okay? Normally, all right, normally, how many walls? Normally, how many walls does a room have? Don't go crazy here. How many walls does a room have?
4.
Okay, very good. All right. So we mentioned this before. If I say a room is 15 feet by 20 feet, okay, what are these two dimensions is referring to in the room?
The floor.
Very good. The floor. All right. So if you look down on your floor is a rectangle. Let's say 15 by 20 feet. Okay. So remember, you got 4 walls. So that means we have 2 long walls and 2 short walls, right? You know what I'm saying? Your floor is 15 by 20. So that means you're gonna have 2 20-foot long walls and 2 15-foot long walls. The ceiling is 8 feet above the floor. What does that mean? Whoa. What will happen if the wall doesn't touch the ceiling? Does your drywall touch the ceiling? Kinda, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this ceiling is 8 foot. 8 foot above the floor means that's the height of the walls. Remember, I keep on using the word long. You have 2 walls that is 15 foot long, 2 walls 20 foot long. But how tall are they? Well, your 4 walls are the same height. Okay. So they're all 8 feet. Okay. There are 2 windows in the room, 3 by 4 each, and the door is a 2.5 by 6.5. What is the total area of the walls and the ceiling? So let's assume we're gonna paint our walls and the ceiling the same color. All right, so for part A, all right, I'm gonna do the 2 long wall. The 2 long walls got to be 2 times, not the longer wall is 20 feet long, right? And 8 feet tall. Then I'm gonna have 2 short walls. 2 times, my short walls are 15 feet long and 18 foot tall. There you go. And my ceiling. Does your ceiling match your floor? How do I find the area of my ceiling? Is a part of your ceiling missing? Yeah, normal houses, not the mansion, you know what I'm saying? Not the, what do you call those? Like, it's very open. The ceiling is very open. Not one of those. Normally, your floor matches with your ceiling, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, however your floor, however big the floor is however the same area as the ceiling. So your ceiling is actually also 15 feet by 20 foot. All right, so let's find each area and add them up. And that'll give me my total area. Okay, then we're gonna take a look at the window and all that. This is 320, right? 4 times 8, 320. 30 times 8, 240. And this is 300. If I add them up right now, 368, 860 square foot. Okay, now I'm not gonna paint over my 2 windows here. So 2 windows. That's 2 times 3 by 4, which is 24 square foot. My one door I'm not gonna paint the same color as my door because I'm already painting the ceiling the same color as my walls. So my door, 2.5 by 6.5. 16.25. So if I'm not going to paint over my windows and the door, that means my total area got to be 860 minus the 2 windows and minus the door. This will tell me how much area we're gonna do. Oops. Minus 16.25. All right, 819.75 square foot. All right, that will answer the first question. A gallon paint will cover 86.625 square foot. How many gallons are there? 86.625. Oh, did I say it right? 86.625. Yep, it's been a while since I've done these problems. So I take my total square footage divided by what 1 gallon paint can do. That will tell me how many gallons I will need. So again, let's assuming I cannot buy part of a gallon. 819.75 divided by 86.625. I got to buy about what? 10 gallons. All right, so the last part is, okay, every gallon is $17.95 times 10 of them I need to buy. Sorry, $17.95. There you go. That'll be $170, $179.50. There you go. So this same question on the test will probably, on the homework, will probably just be one step, which is the last one. So here I broke it, here in lecture, I kind of break it down for you, but on the test, I'm just going to ask you how much will cost. All right. So the only places you round is actually the gallons. Okay. Assuming we cannot buy part of a gallon. Okay. And see how much it's going to cost. All right. So that was real quick, using the area formula to help us find the area of these composite figures, and use the same formula to help us do some application problems. Okay, so that will conclude this video, and thank you for watching. All right, any